Hey y'all, it's a4J
plus Mango,
and we have one for y'all today. We're making chicken empanadas.
Empanada! I learned that from watching Hannah Montana.
Lols, okay silly. Let's get started. First we need 1 large potato. Peel off the skin and remove any dark spots. Then, quarter the potato lengthwise and cut a few times crosswise to get roughly 1-inch pieces. Next we need 1 carrot, peeled and ends cut off. Let's cut this into similar sizes as the potatoes because we want the roots to cook evenly together.
How interesting! Next we're gonna boil the potatoes and carrot. Just fill the pot up with some water just to cover the veggies. Roots. Oh my goodness, Mommy! You're trying too hard to be Salt Bae.
What? Don't judge. Anyway, let's bring this to a boil and then reduce to medium heat so that the water doesn't boil over. Meanwhile, we'll dice up about a cup of onion. Now you don't have to, but I had some scallions, so let's use about 4 stalks and give it a rough chop. Also, peel 2 cloves of garlic and quickly mince it.
Nice! We can toss the onions, scallions, and garlic into a small pan with about a tablespoon of oil. Can you bring it to the stove and cook on medium heat? Please and thank you.
Okay. Let's give it a stir occasionally. It'll take a few minutes for the veggies to sweat and then caramelize. When the potatoes are looking just translucent and you can actually cut it with a fork, you're good to go. Mom strained out the water from the potatoes and carrots. Let's put it into a large mixing bowl along with our caramelized onions. And then mash.
Mush! Okay, here I go.
No mangs. Mash, like we're mashing potatoes.
Oh, well, why aren't you using a masher then?
Because I don't have one, buddy. Plus, Mom likes to have chunks in the empanadas. Okay, anyway, let's prep the rest of the filling ingredients. Mom's using 2 leftover and overcooked chicken breasts, but you could boil or grill some really quickly. With your cooked chicken, give it a rough mince or shred it, whichever you prefer, and then add this to our potato filling. Now this may be unusual, but we'll roughly chop about half a cup of raisins and then add to the filling too.
Okay, Mom, are you ready? Please season with half a teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, and whoa, this is fresh nutmeg. Wow. Finally grate a 1/4 teaspoon directly into the filling.
Thanks, Mangs. We'll give this a good mixing. While I'm mixing this all together, I think we could use a little more chicken, but I'm too lazy to cook up some more. Oh well, it's all good. Now the most important part, when we're done mixing, we have to taste it. This tasted pretty good, but off camera, Mommy added half a teaspoon of sugar to give it more sweetness and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper to give it a little extra kick.
Woohoo! Our fillings are done.
Now we just need some pie or buttercrust dough. Mommy made this buttercrust dough yesterday using another blogger's recipe. The link is in the description down below. You can use store-bought pie dough or even puff pastry. Using a rolling pin, or if you don't have one, a plastic-wrapped wine bottle, let's roll the dough out about 1/8 of an inch thickness. The thickness and the size of the empanadas are completely up to you. Mom's using this 3.5-inch diameter measuring cup to stamp out some circles.
Whoa, you're so innovative, Mommy. Respect.
Thanks! Next, we'll scoop a heavy tablespoon of filling into the center of the dough. Try to flatten and form the filling into a semicircle. Then gently pull the dough over to connect the edges together. You can use some water or egg wash to bind it shut, but we'll go with using a fork to crimp the edges together. Our filling doesn't have much liquid, so it's really okay if the edges aren't completely glued together. Then repeat the steps, or do what's easiest for you to roll the dough out, then fill and fold and crimp these empanadas together. Once I have these empanadas formed and crimped, a little trick I like to use is pat it and squeeze it just to help it get into the shape you want. Before baking, I like to refrigerate these for about 10 minutes so that the dough feels rested.
Ooh, I know what you're doing, Mommy. You're making an egg wash to coat the tops of the empanadas. That way they get a nice color when baking.
Right you are! If you're like me and you don't have a brush to properly apply egg wash, there's nothing wrong with using your fingers.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. When you're done, Mommy, please bake the empanadas in a preheated 400 degrees oven and bake for about 25 to 30 minutes until it's golden brown. But I know when it's done because it starts smelling really good in the house, and that's when you want to keep an eye on them.
Well, I'm pretty satisfied with how these came out. We gotta cool it on a rack for at least 10 to 15 minutes first.
Awesome, Mommy! I love it! But I can't eat raisins. Oh. Check out our website at a4J.com for our blog post on empanadas and get a free copy of this handwritten recipe.
That's all for Jean.
And Bingo!